Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and I'm with lovely Julia. Hello, Julia.
Hello, lovely Richard.
We're sort of on the trail of Walter Wilkinson, the puppeteer who wrote a book called The Sussex Peep Show, and I've made a number of those videos in an ad hoc basis. The thing is, we're following where I left off, which was in Pulborough, and I went over Pulborough Bridge, and I'll leave a link obviously to that. And he makes his way further south down the A29 here in West Sussex, and we're now at a place called Coldwaltham. He stops off at Hardham Church. I'll leave a link. There's no point in me going back there because I've already been there with Martin Snow, and that's a little bit more in depth. And then he makes his way down here. He really just sticks pretty much to the A29, which is very dull and boring. So I thought we would go for a little walk and just explore the area. Not least, we'll start at the church behind us, which is St Giles. I've made a video about that with Cynthia Julian, but there's a beautiful tree that I know will intrigue you.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in the video. I'm pretty sure I remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of trees I've seen in your videos.
It's a big tree, it's a big ancient tree. So what we have to do is cross the busy A29 and get there. Then we're going to carry on west, and I'm hoping that we'll get up to where Stane Street is. A lot of people think the A29 is Stane Street, but
it just actually mirrors it, doesn't it, or shadows the path.
It's about half a mile west from here. But we won't be able to go on it because we just cross it. Before we get going on the actual journey, I've just slipped back quickly to a point on the A29, which is the modern road, to where the original old London road, the Bognor to London road, snaked round the village. And behind me is part of it. You can see this Georgian house with tiles beyond, and there's a lovely thatched timber-framed property on this side. And on the other side, there is another bit that goes past more of the village and the Labouring Man pub. But I just wanted to bring that attention really to you, because the modern route, which is the busy road, is not, I don't think, where Walter would have wandered. So he would have perambulated around this bit in search of possibly somewhere to erect his booth. Right, I'll go and open the gate here for you, Julia. Can you get through there? We have little Joe with us. Now the tree is at the back. We're going to have a look at that in a minute, but we'll just have a quick look at the actual church itself, because it's quite an old church, isn't it?
Yeah, some parts of it date back to the 13th century, I believe.
And I imagine that must be the tower, because that looks pretty old. And I love the tower with its timber framing at the top.
Yeah. Next
to the vents for the bells.
It's really pretty. I didn't think orange would look nice on a church, but it actually does.
Yeah, it's very distinctive, and I don't know that there are many churches in Sussex that have that little extension to the tower holding the roof up in which the bells are in.
Yeah, it seems somewhat juxtaposed to the bright, shiny, golden coloured cockerel on top, doesn't it?
Yeah, I reckon that's a new one.
Yeah, of course.
I had a very nice interview with the vicar here when Cynthia and I came, and you'll see that in the other video. I understand now, because we're going back into this second lockdown, which is a bit of a pain, but the churches are going to remain open for private prayer, so I think if you're walking by you should be able to go in.
Yeah.
So if we go around the back, let's have a look at the tree.
It looks rather ancient. Did you find out how?
No, but I think it's probably the same age as the original church, or at least from the 13th century.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, easily. They're such amazing trees. I mean, look at it. It conjures so much from the imagination. It's beautiful. All the mulching inside the bowl. can see a couple of yew berries in there as well.
And when Julia's standing next to the tree, you get an idea of the size of that bole of the tree, because it is huge. But often when you film these things without somebody giving reference, it looks not as large, but that's just actually quite substantially huge.
It is. I mean, the reason for that is because all of these offshoots that are growing from its trunk, and even the branches from the upright branches from its horizontal branches, they will get bigger and bigger and bigger as the years go, and they will become the new part of the tree, you know, from the ground up.
We've left the church now, and we're just following the lane, Church Lane it's actually called, and it goes up a slight rise to the west, past a few interesting properties, and then we're going to bend round to the right and get onto another lane which should take us up to the point where Stane Street actually is.
Yeah.
But it will just cross our path, and we may not even see it. There may be no reference, you know, on the ground to it. It's just that it's marked on the map as being there, but it's not a public footpath at this stage. And then we've got around us the countryside, which actually we're looking up towards Stopham, and in the distance there where Stopham Bridge is, you've got the River Ada first, and then the Arun, which come together quite close. The wind has increased rather dramatically. We've got a lot of wind over this week. I think was it Storm Aidan or somebody? I can't remember
Don't know, actually.
It was on the other side of the world, but we have just got the remnants of it. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're standing, I think, where Stane Street crossed. According to the OS map, it would have crossed that way, either side of us, and there is a row of oak trees here. If I just point the camera down here behind me, and it is at the edge of a field, which I suppose makes some sort of sense. I mean, it's 2,000 years ago that we're talking about a road being here, and then there's another row of oak trees on the other side, not so blatantly obvious, but we'll carry on walking because the map may be just slightly out. I'm just looking to see if there's any signs, but let's carry on that way, shall we? I don't know if there's ever been any excavation of bits of it to see if it's here, but there's sort of drainage ditches all around here. Poor old Julia's struggling with the trolley thing. What do you call it?
A buggy, I call it.
Yeah.
Who's struggling?
Well, I mean, what I meant was there's obstacles for you to get past.
This machine does make it fairly easy.
It's a brilliant machine.
Not that they're sponsoring us or anything.
No. Now look, there's another row of trees there. They go at a bleak angle, which I can't believe is right, but it may well be. It's very difficult to tell when you're on the ground. It's probably better if you had a drone or something like that and a map that you could put it over, but I'm very interested to see if there was anything, but it's not.
It's about 3 or 4 male pheasants I've seen now, 1 female. Bless them.
Well, we've skirted round a field there that was quite wet. There's a lot of water, isn't there?
It was very boggy.
And so we've now got on to the next sort of section of this walk, which is the lane. Now this should take us up to the old disused railway that used to run from Pulborough to Midhurst.
Right.
And again, that should be more obvious. I was going to say, again, it crosses us, but it will be a lot more obvious than the old Roman road.
Cool.
So let's crack on. I imagine that we go up here. It's incredibly boggy. We've had so much rain recently, but it's a lovely little path.
It's a beautiful walk, and with all the little at this time of year, with all the the heightening water levels and the streams and rivulets and the sounds, it's beautiful. Oh, not to mention the falling leaves, golden leaves, and
the colours. I love the colours in autumn. It's just one of my favourite times.
And the squelchiness of the mulching leaves underfoot. Lovely.
And the screaming of the child.
Serene.
Julia has been determined to push the trolley whilst I've been doing the filming.
Yeah, it's pushed it, it's really good.
But we have had to, you've got a bit wet now, haven't you?
Yeah, it's my fault for wearing big flappy flary jeans, isn't it?
Well, you didn't know. I didn't know it was going to be this wet. When I looked at the map, it just looked like a little lane. I thought it was going to be a hard lane, but it's been a bit of an adventure.
Yeah.
So I'm not
stream.
Yes. Now we're trying to get to the railway, which was really my end point on this walk. But I have
it's starting to look impassable for me. We might have to wait here for you.
Yes. Well, I'm not going to go off. But I'm just going to have a look here. I don't know that we can get much further. I don't think it is terribly far now. There's another tree line up ahead, and I think that must be where the railway went, but we've got to come back this way. Did I tell you that?
You didn't until just a few moments ago.
And this stream is just building, and it's hard to think that this is actually a path.
It's beautiful, I love it. Look at the lovely water. It's cold, but it's not as cold as I was thinking it would be. Definitely not as cold as I thought it was going to be.
The railway line is just up there. There's no tracks, anything like this, abandoned railway line, and all it would be is another muddy track just a bit wider than this, really. It's not, this stretch is not actually open to the public, so all we would do is cross it and carry on, which would take us to the River Ada, I think, which is probably where this stream is going. It's making its way to the river, and that's what they do. But anyway, I think that's all we can offer you on this walk. We tried just to have a look at the environs.
Yeah. It was fun getting this far, but maybe we'll have to come back when it's
dry.
In the dry season.
Yes. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed our little adventure. We're going to go back to the van. Have a cup of tea and a cup of coffee, and maybe a sandwich, and let little Joe run around somewhere. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. Become a patron, support what we do, particularly over the lockdown. I try and get out as best I can and bring the outside world to you locked up on the inside world.
Yeah.
Till next time, from all of us, bye-bye.